Thierry from Sport. Welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're going to take a look at how to improve internal hip rotation by using Indian clubs, palavendral, or simply a plastic bottle. If you want to move better, feel better, check it out. We're going to be doing exercise with Indian clubs, but if you don't have any wooden Indian clubs, you don't have a set of palavendral, shame on you, there's a link in the video description. Simply grab a bottle with a long neck so you can hold on to it like if it was a club, okay? Now you've got a shorter lever arm, so I suggest that you fill it up with gravel or sand so it's a bit heavier and you get better feedback from the tool you're going to be using. Now, the exercise with the clubs are very simple. They're basically pendulums. You can do them by the side of the body, you can do them in front of the body. It's really not technical. If you're interested in learning more, then you know what to do. Check out our website and you'll get sorted with Indian clubs. For best results before you do the exercise, especially if you're really tight, is to do a little bit of myofascial release on the actual muscles related to the internal rotation of the hip. And these are two small muscles. Basically, if you feel your hip bone here and the top of your thigh bone, there's a small gap here, the soft spot, that's where it is, right? And you can place the ball, it has to be like some kind of rigid ball, a tennis ball will do, and you just place it in there. I mean, you can just dig around with your thumb and you'll feel it's kind of uncomfortable. Now, before you go on the floor and apply a lot of pressure, it's safest and best that you just do it standing like this and lean into the wall. And you can just like roll a little bit back and forth. So we've got a bit of cross fiber massage action happening here, right? And it's probably going to be really uncomfortable the first few times you do it, but eventually, gradually it's going to fade down as the quality of the tissue improves, more oxygen going there and the tension leaving the muscle group. Okay, so that's the first one here, the tensor fasciae latae muscle group in here. And then we're simply going to roll out here. Okay, you can see where my belt is, that's pretty much where the hip bone is. And that little muscle here, so not the big muscle here in your butt, okay, but the one at the top and a bit slightly out to the side. That's the gluteus minimus. And you're going to do the same thing. Just again, you can go a little bit up and down, do some circles on this one, back and forth. Find the tender spots, and when you find one that's like, oh, just like wait there. Don't apply any more pressure. It has to be uncomfortable, but not painful, otherwise the muscle is not going to release. So you're just going to wait there 6 to 10 seconds. And it's gradually going to leave that feeling, and it's going to feel good, and then you just move around a bit. So it's a bit of self-exploration work here with the massage ball. You can't do the same type of release using a foam roller because these are small muscle groups and they need a bit more of direct pinpoint pressure to get to. But do this about a minute on each side, on each of the two muscles I mentioned there, and then go into the exercises. In those exercises, the Indian clubs are going to function as arm drivers that accentuate the direction of the pull and the rotation. What you need to focus on is that feeling happening around your hip and the thigh bone, okay? First exercise, very simple, 2 clubs, and we are going to assume a split stance, okay? Short one, doesn't have to be ultra wide. The back foot is just resting on the toes like this, yeah? Both feet are pointing ahead. Now I'm going to start by swinging the arms by the side of the body as such. And now I'm going to add the rotation looking towards the back club, using some leg drive as well to get that up and down motion, but really focus when you're getting into that position here of what you feel around the hip bone, okay? So if I switch the stance like this, then of course I repeat, boom, here. And this is where I start to, feel that rotation happening around right here. Exercise number 2, we're going to again assume the split stance, but this time we're going to swing the clubs in a parallel fashion, meaning that they're moving in the same direction each swing. Yeah, from side to side in front of the body, Be mindful of the knee so you don't whack it. I mean, the beauty of the palavendal is that it really doesn't hurt because it's just a plastic bottle, okay? Now, this time we're going to do a pendulum or a crossover pendulum in front of the body, really trying to get that pull towards the ground as we have crossed the midline and the leg that's most forward. Okay, so it's going to not just to the side, but also slightly down. Okay, so boom, and I straighten up. Now, they're very basic Indian club movements here, like I said. You know, if you know how to swing clubs, you can combine more fancy patterns into it and still work on that main lower body pattern to improve the hip internal rotation. So, and again, be aware if you don't feel anything happening, it's because you're not rotating from your pelvis, okay? Make sure again that the knee is and the foot is pointing straight on, and everything happens here from the hips. You see where my hips are pointing now, okay? Exercise number 3. I can do it with 2 clubs, I can do it with 1 club, really whatever. We're going to combine a curtsy lunge. Now, it basically means that we cross one foot in front of the other one and trying to maintain the upper body facing straight on, and I'm then going to sit down as far as is comfortable for you, okay? So you're really going to feel that stretch here, and you're going to feel the bones moving inside. Be mindful of the knees if you don't have that much resilience on there, on your knees. But basically exercise looks like this. As I'm crossing my foot, so let's say this time I'm going towards the right, the clubs are going to swing to the left, and I can just grab them and hold that pose here. Straighten up. I can do a little loop in front of the body and then drop in my lunge on the other side. So we want, you can see when my knee is pointing, we want to counter that movement with the upper body, and it's going to really put a lot of emphasis on the internal rotation of your hip. Okay, so I hope this helps and makes sense. Let us know in the comments how it's going, if it really helps you improve the quality of life, the way you move and feel. Thanks for watching.